Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Classroom Brew, the podcast that is like teacher happy hour, but in podcast form. And we do have a 2-drink minimum. And for this week, the Moscato bottle, while it did produce an amazing episode last week, and there was a video episode for our Patreon members, and as great as it was, and as delicious as it was, because it was just juice, it was the worst hangover, finishing that bottle in a 25-minute episode, or however long it was. So we are going with 2 Coronas for this one, for this episode. One already done. This is on to the second one. And, I feel like I'm just continuing my workday at this point because I'm talking into the void right now. Teaching from home right now, it is cozy. I will tell you that. Not having a commute when it's starting to rain or a little chilly out, anything like that. But it does have a lot of silence, a lot of crickets that you're used to as a teacher, but your wait time doesn't solve it because you can't guilt trip anybody by looking at them in the eyes and like almost not quite peer pressure, but getting them to answer. Like, I can see what you're writing. I know you know something. You can answer this question. Now for this one, in terms of talking into the void, I guess this would be a good time to plug some podcast stuff, but you can reach me at Classroom Brew on all the social medias, including TikTok, where we post some stuff. I think we post some stuff. But also facebook.com/classroombrew. Or if you want, you can email me, classroombrew@gmail.com. And I got to tell you, we're gonna get to something. We've got Lish on standby for this episode. She's also one of our Patreon members, and she teaches in Minnesota. We're going to get to that in a second. But I've had this fear pretty much all week because there's this amazing application called GoGuardian, which allows us to monitor student screens, which is very helpful in the classroom. But it's also pretty helpful when you're teaching online. You know what I mean? Like, are kids in the right place? Are they following along? Are they on Netflix? Which I've gotten so many like, oh, I have an emergency, and I look and they're like watching Teen Wolf. They're watching Twilight, New Moon. These are real examples. This is not my creativity coming out. Well, one of them. No, they were both real. Teen Wolf and Twilight, New Moon. Those are the 2 they watched after they just told me like, I can't do this right now. I've got an appointment. I have a doctor. And maybe it was something that maybe it's just not on them on the screen or anything like that. But I have a distinct fear about GoGuardian. And, it seems like such a good idea, especially when they're at home. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know what I could be dropping into. So that's a little bit of a fear. I did see, by the way, if anyone else is using Google Meets for the sake of teaching, their synchronous, I hate the term synchronous. I hear it so much and I have to say it so much. Their synchronous instruction, they are going to start in October doing automatic breakout groups instead of like us having to like make separate meets and then send them links and stuff and have the kids You can automatically choose people. It'll send them out and you can pull them back in whenever you want, or you can give them a timer, which is really useful. I'm really excited for that. So something good on the horizon for Google. Still an issue though with muting kids and kicking kids out. So that's a little bit scary. The one class bomb I got, I was lucky. It was very quick. I got to it like in 2 seconds. I was like, nope, you're out. No clue who it was, but we got to it quickly. Now, before we get into our little phone call with Lish, I did want to talk about this article that I saw. And for context, the article is no longer posted. But this is from, KTXS television. I'm assuming some Texas station. And the article is, Texas teachers could see a 6-figure salary starting in the fall. Looks like San Antonio. Now, normally, I wouldn't look into this, but or put any stock into it. It is ironic, though, that the article about teachers making a more realistic salary. Now, granted, 6 figures, I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. But they put just goading people. Goading all the parents and the Karens and the assholes. Weigh in. Do you think teachers should make a 6-figure salary? Whoo! Here we go. I'm just going to read through some of these comments here. Now, some of them are teachers that are giving, their take. And a lot of people, it seems like, are saying maybe not 100,000, a six-figure salary, but for certain more. A lot of people saying it depends on the teacher. And then there's this guy named Josh. And Josh, I won't say his last name because he doesn't deserve more attention, but Josh has been hurt by someone. And that someone that hurt Josh must have been a teacher. So he goes on to talk about how teachers should absolutely not be paid and they just sit behind a desk all day. Who hurt you, Josh? Who hurt you? Some people, too, talking about how we are doing liberal indoctrination. I'm not paying more taxes so you can destroy America. All right, get out of here with that. And of course, some people are really calling people to the task saying, well, why don't you, and I'm just going through the comment section right now, why don't you homeschool your kid if you hate it so much? And these are all people that they absolutely should not homeschool their kid, but I love the quip right there. And some people are even at the point where they're saying, you know, when we started the initial lockdown and I had to tutor my kids or maybe even teach my kids from home, I really appreciated the teachers. But other people, they're like, well, you know, they're not commuting anymore, so you know they're saving money there, so they should probably take that into account. So I'll probably dock them, you know, $8,000 right there, and you know, they don't have to buy supplies and all that stuff like they normally do because that's a normal thing, and teachers should, you know, supply every single thing in their classroom and for their kids. So, you know, just dock their pay another $15,000 right there. For sure, some of these people are some of those Chicago guys that, this guy right here, Robert, saying, no, they don't even want to return to the classroom to teach. So no, unless a good portion of their six-figure salary goes to the parents because the parents are doing the bulk of the work. Fuck you, dude. Are you even a parent? Also, you're definitely not doing most of the work. You're definitely not. I swear to you, you're not. Well, let me see. Let's get some info on this guy. Yikes. This guy for sure doesn't believe in the pandemic if he's talking about how we're complaining that we don't want to go back to the classroom. That's not what it is, motherfucker. Clearly, it's easier for us if we're back in the classroom. Teaching from... I said this during the initial lockdown, during the summer, and I said it recently. We don't want to do this. This is not easy, but I don't want to get COVID. I get sick anyway, like 3-4 times a year. I don't want to die. I don't want to get something that could spread to somebody else in my family. I have a niece and nephew, motherfucker. I'm not going to spread anything to them. I have grandparents. I have parents that are in their 60s. Sorry for outing your age there, mom and dad. And then where was the other guy? One guy saying, so many people are just such heroes, by the way, going, no, they don't. No, absolutely not. They don't contribute anything to the conversation, even though this is a stupid conversation anyway. No. And yikes on this former teacher saying, as a former educator, grow up and get a real job if you want a decent income. Oh, well, I'm glad you're not teaching anymore. Holy shit. This guy here, this lady, Sherry, for what? Sitting on their butts for the last 6 months? If they stay home, no. If they can proof, well, we know you failed, and that's why you hate teachers. To the parents that they are teaching our children and that they are learning, and if they start doing classwork in class instead of sending it home to the parents to teach their children, let's start there. Wrong there. There's 3 forms of there, lady. First, before you get a penny more, you have 2. She did the wrong 2. There's 3 forms of 2 as well. Many days off as it is and get paid. We don't get paid during those days off like summer and things like that, you ignorant ass. Now, granted, a lot of people are calling people out for their grammar and syntax errors, which is obvious, but it's not worth the time. Again, more heroes saying, no! And I got to say, the number, I mean, people that are already in the comment section, it's already a big oops for you. But the people that are, for some reason, they think that they have something to contribute. Like I was talking about, 3 weeks ago, whatever it may be. It's not worth your time. It's really not. And granted, it's fun to poke fun at people in the comments. I'm not going to comment on this, but I'm going to poke fun at them because they're not going to listen to my podcast anyway. And again, people talking about the 10-month thing. But let's get back to Joshua. So Joshua, this ignorant asshole, goes on to say, the answer is no, because they do not do a job. I mean, if they actually work for a 6-figure income, I have no problems with them making a 6-figure income. but they don't do the job of a six-figure income individual. They're not out negotiating deals, making big sales. They sit behind a desk, and most of them fail, especially public school in the state of Texas, in terms of reading, writing, and arithmetic. So I guess because we don't produce anything, I guess we're not producing anything, guys. If we're teaching, we don't do shit. He must be in a really, really bad area, or clearly if he's got some grammar issues, that's one thing. But I love how much everyone's an expert. I think I've heard Devin Siebold a number of times saying, did you go to school at some time when you were a kid? Oh, well then you know everything. Fantastic. You can write policy on being a teacher. And he's absolutely right. That's for sure the mentality that people have. But for the people that are in that little section and they're saying, one guy just laughed. He went, bah, ha, 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 ha. And, you're right, because that's honestly realistic. But a lot of people are saying, like, okay, maybe not six figures right out of the gate. Obviously, it's not right out of the gate. There's still going to be a salary schedule if this were a thing. And it won't be a thing because the article's already gone, because it was for sure fake. But people that are recognizing, like, okay, let's look at other salaries, and then let's look at this salary. And it's not comparable. But what I want to do, I'm going to jump over on Skype, and you guys are getting like I'm on the couch, and I'm holding just a regular tabletop mic stand, because on the couch too. There's no glorious setup for this week because I'm tired. It was one of those really trying weeks of distance learning. A lot of talking to myself, it felt like, and really hard to tell how the kids are taking in that content. But let's jump into Skype and see what Lish has to say about the Go Guardian thing. Hey, Lish, how you doing?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Fantastic. So how you doing? How was the post work? You guys went out for a few drinks, so that's good.
Yeah, it was good, and I have a teacher friend over now, and we're just having some more beers.
Oh, right on. So we got 3 people right now that are joining in. Are they aware that they're on a little known podcast right now?
Sure is.
So we were just beforehand. We were recording a little bit. We were looking at that article with the Texas teachers making 6 figures and all the comment warriors. But we were also talking about, we have this app called Go Guardian where you can monitor student screens. And I have a lot of fears, and I've noticed a lot of things like Netflix and things like that. But you were telling me about something earlier this week that you encountered when you were monitoring screens. So what happened this week over in Minnesota?
Yeah, ours is called Securely, and it's hooked up to our Google Classrooms. So the kids that are in our Google Classrooms, we can see their computers. And I was trying to connect one student with our title teacher. And then I saw another student on Pornhub.
God.
So.
And this was during class time, or?
Oh, sure was. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, the normal time. That's standard. So how do you handle that? Like, in that initial moment, I feel like if you were in a classroom, I feel like I would slam the Chromebook closed and panic. But how do you handle, like, what? I don't even know. I don't know. I
was just like, what do I do here? Like, and then I texted my principal and I was like, you need to come here right now. And then she usually responds right away, and she didn't. And I was like, no, but seriously, you need to come here now. And so then I took a picture of it and I texted it to her. And then I went to her Hangouts and I was like, you need to check your phone now. And then I went down to her office, and luckily our parent teacher liaison, like the main liaison, was at the school that day, and the principal had to talk to him. And I guess this kid has several older siblings, so I'm hoping it was them.
God, he had a lot of liaisoning to do.
A third grader.
Oh God, yeah, holy cow. So, what's the fallout from that? I luckily have not encountered that. Even our classic episode, Airdropped Porn, that was not my story. That was Peter's story. What's the fallout for a potential porn incident on a school Chromebook? Like, do you have to have the talk suddenly with this kid, or is it going to be handled by the liaison, or what happened?
The liaison called the family yesterday, and I haven't heard anything since. But the kid was on morning meeting today, and I chit-chatted with him one-on-one about his work. But as soon as, because I can like block their screens if
Good call.
if they're doing anything like playing games or watching YouTube.
Or their 11 o'clock entertainment
Yep.
hour. Their
Yep.
standard.
And then the nice tech guy was like, "Why is this not blocked?" I don't know. It's not my job.
Yeah, right. Like, oh, so we're talking like they weren't just like browsing, like they were on it and like
No.
a few minutes in.
Yeah, well, I watched like his screen for like 5 minutes, like waiting for a response from the principal, and he saw some things. Whoever was watching it saw some things.
Oh man, his bubble was really burst like shortly after 11 o'clock. Then when they finally shut it down, like
yeah, like I blocked his screen, and then immediately the kid messaged me on Hangouts and was like, "Miss, it wasn't me. Somebody was on my account. I looked at the history. There were bad things there."
Yeah, within 2 seconds of getting blocked, it was somebody else. I'm not on my account. Please help.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
I'm really hoping it's not this kid.
Yeah.
8-year-old.
Oh, God. This is my nightmare. I said we just in AP Psych, we were getting into, because I'm doing a motivation, emotion, and stress, because it seems very, pertinent right now. And the most recent module was on sexual motivation. And like I covered the basics, but I was like, all right, this is going to be your independent reading. Here are the pages. I don't want any part of this right now, especially when I'm teaching from home. It's too weird. But so for people so you were on an episode not too long ago, but what's your current COVID situation right now for teaching?
It's 100% online, and I'm teaching online from my classroom. So most of the teachers are going in. All the kids are at home, but there's word that we might be doing hybrid after our MEA, like our fall break type weekend in mid-October.
Now, are you guys required to go into the classrooms? And I know some people like they have to be in the building. For us, we have the option, but it's not required. But where is it?
It's strongly suggested.
Oh, okay. So you're in there every day. Is basically what I'm hearing right now.
Yes. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
And we had to close down a week into teacher week. We have 2 weeks of like pre-service. And after the first week, we had to shut down because there was one of the teachers tested positive.
Oh, lovely. That's right. You did mention that. And that was,
yeah.
Oh my God. I think there were like maybe 100 so far in our district that have had it, but nothing in, our building was shut down though, because there was a breakout of Legionnaire's disease. The fuck is that? But
right?
It's some sort of bacteria thing. Like our building's 100 years old. I didn't realize there was a disease stuck in it from 100 years ago. But yeah, it was closed down. I don't even know. But we do have hand sanitizer stations. They just don't work.
That's good. We don't have hand sanitizer yet. I bought my own.
There you go. That sounds about right. They'll probably give you like one. I think we have the hand sanitizer stations with sanitizer in them, but you can't. They don't work. They gave us the stupid electric ones without batteries.
Oh, well.
Classic.
Wrong.
Well, they sprung for the sanitizer. It's just not the batteries, so we'll take it. But, well, Lish, thanks so much for jumping in on a call, especially because I know it was like a mid-podcast recording, and but I'm proud you met the 2-drink minimum. Hopefully you more than exceeded the 2-drink minimum, but...
Sure did.
But, no, thanks again for jumping on, and we'll have to do some sort of an update pretty soon here.
Of course.
Have a good rest of your night. Say hi to I don't know who it is, but say hi to him for me.
All right, cool.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye.
All right, so everybody else, that's absolutely my nightmare. Why is there so much? Never mind, we're not getting into it. There's too much. I don't want to get into it. Airdropped porn and now this. But everybody, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Classroom Brew. I really appreciate all your support. We do have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/classroombrew if you want to get that podcast merch. So like we have koozies, we have shot glasses. There's obviously the bonus content behind the scenes, bonus episodes, and of course you have access to all the video episodes. I think if you were to go to the Patreon, I think there's already like 10 bonus episodes that are only available there. And most of those are video as well. So again, patreon.com/classroombrew. We are again on that new Amazon thing, but you can seriously find us anywhere you listen to podcasts. But no matter where you listen, if you could do me a huge favor, this really helps us out. If you go to the Apple Podcast app or even iTunes, whatever it may be, I don't know what it's called anymore. They keep changing everything at Apple. But rate us in there, because that for some reason is the biggest thing in terms of rankings. And you can also let people know about the podcast. They can follow us on social media at Classroom Brew, all that good stuff. And, I'm exhausted. I'm sitting on a couch. I'm like Monica in the early days of the Armchair Expert episode where she just had the mic stand in her lap and she was just chilling. And I don't have my green screen right now. I feel out of my podcast element, but we made it work for you guys. We really did. But anyways, so I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're staying safe and healthy. And if you're teaching, hope you guys are holding up okay with all the frustrations. But thank you so much again. And until next week, class dismissed.